YouTube, welcome back to the channel. I'm Kathy, and this is my little greenhouse.
Alright you guys, it is 8 something. Just woke up a little while ago. It is the day before Thanksgiving. I've got my coffee, and we are getting ready to do some baking. Let me get transformed, and I will show you what my plans are for today. I think we're going to start with cookies because they can be baking while I'm doing some of the prep work for the cheese ball, and hopefully when it's all said and done, that will be okay. I have to figure it out though, because the best surface for me to roll anything out on would be the stove top. But if I do this right, I can be okay. We can be okay. We're going to start with these cookies. And yes, that is the sound of always wash your hands when you handle food. But especially if you're taking food to other people, like, my goodness, please. Wash your hands. Wash your hands. Let's see what we got to do. Let's see, 350, 2 inches apart, 10 to 14 minutes. Until cool for 2 minutes, then remove them from the cookie sheet. Alright, we need cookie sheet. No, we need big cookie sheet, because I think I'm just going to do however many fits. Y'all probably can't hear that. Big cookie sheet. I'm going to do however many fits on my biggest cookie sheet, because that way I can just do one batch and then be done and move on to other things, because like I said, this is mostly just so that, like, for my niece, so that she doesn't have, if she doesn't eat carrot cake, she can eat the cookies. So it's not worth stressing over or like using a lot of time to make like tons and tons of cookies. That's not what this is about. But, you know, I've always been a very picky eater, so I'm not going to judge a 6-year-old if she doesn't like a carrot cake, because I don't know if she eats it or not. And honestly, you know what? I'm not going to judge her. I'm not going to be mad or offended. If she tries it because she wants to and she likes it, great. But, you know what? If she doesn't, it's fine. And anyway, if not, I'll eat the cookies. And if I don't eat the cookies, my husband will, or my brother will, or anybody else who's there will eat cookies. We'll save them and make ice cream sandwiches or something with them. I don't know. And yes, I can make homemade cookies. They are one of the first things I learned to bake. But today's about convenience, because heart and soul will go into the carrot cake. Did y'all see me just smack myself in the face with a plastic bag when I pulled it out? But yeah, so sitting here having these thoughts, I've decided that I think Thanksgiving is just pre-Christmas, because even the Thanksgiving Day parade, you know, ends with Santa Claus. It's like a kickoff to the holiday season. You could argue that maybe Halloween is the kickoff to the holiday season, but this is just different. This is like the different joyous holidays, whereas Halloween's more like a standalone event. even if you have multiple parties on different days. I also need to see, because I haven't used my cake pans in a while, if I need to wash any of them, just because it's been months and months. I might need to wash them before I can do the carrot cake later, which is why carrot cake is happening later on, to give me time. We will see. This is almost ready to go in the oven. I'm going to get what we need for the cheese ball. This cheese ball, I've got it on my little card. This recipe I actually got from a lady who made it for my wedding. So I think of this as like, ooh, it's the cheese ball for my wedding. But she had actually made the cheese ball for another friend's wedding. Then she made it for mine because I was like, ooh, that was really good. Please make it for my wedding too. And then she made it. No, she made it. I got the recipe from her because I was going to make it for a different holiday. I can't remember what. Something happened, never got to make the recipe, but it's so good. So I hunted down the ingredients thanks to my mom's help because I didn't have dates, and my brother, because they were able to get me some dates because I couldn't find dates. But it's cream cheese, dates, brown sugar. If you get candied dates, then you don't need the extra brown sugar, and pecans, and that's it. It is not complicated. Ooh, and a little bit of vanilla. We need vanilla. Alright, if MSG is the flavor enhancer of savory foods, vanilla is the flavor enhancer for all sweet foods. Our cream cheese, I put it in a much bigger bowl than I think I need because wisdom comes from messing up sometimes. And you just need to, as you get older, you learn you need more room to stir. So you do not get a bowl that is the size you need it to be. You get a bowl that is enough room for stirring. So we've got cream cheese. All we have to do is we combine the cream cheese, dates, vanilla, roll it into a ball, roll that ball into chopped pecans, and then mold it into a ball shape in the plastic wrap, and leave it in the fridge till it's ready to go. So, simple. We need to chop pecans. It says we need 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 1 cup of chopped wheat thins, of chopped pecans. And the reason I always serve it with wheat thins is because that's what it's been served with every time. They've got, since it's a sweet cheese ball, you need that little bit of saltiness. That little bit of saltiness really helps bring it all together. If not, it would be too sweet. I'm doing the cheese ball at the same time as the cookies because that's just not as mentally engaging, so I can be doing prep work. Alright, let's see. Pecans. We're just going to get out the big cutting board because I'm going to need it later anyway. And I learned this from my mom. 1 cup of chopped pecans means that the pecans are chopped going into the measuring cup. If it says 1 cup of pecans, comma, chopped, you measure 1 cup of pecans and then chop them. But because it says 1 cup of chopped pecans, I have to chop them as I put them into the cup. I'm leaving out this big cutting board because I have to turn around and chop walnuts for the carrot cake. So while I'm chopping these things, I might just go ahead and do all the chopping for all the recipes. And you do want them to be fairly small because they've got to get, like, you want to be able to tell they're there, but they're going into a cheese ball, right? So they need to be fairly scoopable, and technically these aren't even going into the cheese ball. These are going to be the outside layer. So you want to be able to tell, oh yes, this is a pecan, but you want to they need to be easily scoopable. Also, 1 cup of walnuts. Yes, thank you for easy measurements. Because I've already got this cup out. That means I don't need to get another one dirty. I am going to just kind of wipe down everything though. And the more you get to know about how your oven bakes, then you know, like if one side of it is hotter, if one side is colder. I don't think I'll do a voiceover. I think I'll just do my intro, maybe some chill music, make this like a come bake with me. That way other people, I'll post it, see if I can get it posted for tomorrow, so anybody else who's cooking on Thanksgiving, who just wants some company in the room, that would be great. Let's see. Chopped walnuts or walnuts chopped? This is walnuts chopped, which means we measure first. That's probably too much because it's technically over, but I don't think that little bit's going to hurt, and I like walnuts, so. But this is chopped pecans. This is a cup of walnuts chopped. So as you can see, if you chop it before it goes into the container, you end up having a lot more in your measuring cup, because if you measure it first, it leaves a lot of gaps that get filled in if you chop it first. That is why those two different measurements, it makes a difference whether or not you do the chopping first. And yes, I learned that from my mom. And it's a good thing that I chopped them first, because I have to cut up the dates. And if I'd cut up the dates, then this would be all gummy, and that wouldn't be good. I really want to do more vlog style videos, but I haven't had a lot of practice with it. So this is giving me practice. If it does great, great. If it doesn't, bottoms are perfect. If it doesn't do great, that's fine. I'm not mad about it. If it's just fun for me to do, that's also fine. I really want to do more travel vlogs. I've got a video from back in July that I filmed where my husband and I, we did an Airbnb at the beach, and it was just a wonderful trip, and I need to get that posted. It's been July and I still haven't got it posted yet. And we've got another trip. We're going to do a getaway in a few weeks to celebrate my graduation with my master's degree. I finished in June. I got my degree, but because it's a small campus, they don't do a summer commencement. So everybody who graduated during the summer, if you want to walk in the ceremony, you've got to do that in December. So that's how that's going. So the date situation is it's 1 box of candied dates, or sugar-coated dates, however you want to say it. I don't have a box. I have a handful. So however much this is however much I have. Ooh, I think these are pitted already. Haha, that makes life so easy. I wasn't sure if we'd got the pitted ones or not, but we do. Good, I don't have to pit them, I can just chop them up. That is great. And I think the last time I checked the cream cheese, it's pretty soft. It's almost a workable consistency now. So since all this gets stirred together anyway, I think I'm just going to just put it directly into the bowl as I chop. Makes life easy. And I do want these to be fairly tiny because I want them to be able to mix easy and not be lumpy. I'm just cutting the dates into fourths lengthwise and then just going down the line, chopping it up into teeny tiny pieces. And I mean, since they're dates, they're sugary, they're sticky, the pieces kind of stick back together, but that's okay. I'm so thankful when she gave me this recipe. She, maybe one more chop through after I go down it lengthwise. She went ahead and told me how much sugar it needs to be converted for if I don't have the candied dates. And like I said, dates are really sweet. This is a sweet cheese ball. But that's why you pair it with the salty wheat thins. Which wheat thins have a certain sweetness to them anyway, because carbs always do. But they are perfect for this. And because since it's so, for a cheese ball, it's very thick because you've got the candiedness, you've got the sugar. Wheat thins hold up a little bit better than, say, a Ritz cracker, which I also love Ritz crackers. Not sponsored, would be if they want to. But they're just more substantial. They don't break as easy when you try to scoop it. Like I said, I'm still going to serve it with a little spreader so people can get a dollop or put it on directly on their cracker or however they eat it. How it's going to be is it's going to be in the middle of the table. Probably not the island because we don't want to get in the way while cooking. And people are just going to walk by, grab a scoop, and keep going. Because, I mean, we're family. It's not like it's at a big party or whatever. So we can just be kind of munching. Now, ideally, since these aren't already candied, ideally, you would food process them with the brown sugar so it kind of coats them. And then they won't be as goopy like they are right now. But I don't have a food processor. And earlier this year, my blender broke. So when my mom and I go Black Friday shopping, I am going to be looking at some kitchen appliances. So as the more I get tired of cutting, the bigger these chunks are. So there's going to be some textural diversity throughout the cheese ball, but I don't think that's a bad thing. While I've got this cutting board out, I might go ahead and shred the carrots on it just because it's a good surface. And that way when I'm done with it, I'm done with it. The carrots are going to take a while because all the big carrots at the store did not look good the other day. They looked really, really gross. So I got a pack of large-ish baby carrots. And I was originally going to have Alex shred them for me. That was going to be his contribution. Was he was going to do some of the prep work, but that did not go to plan. And I mean, I'm off, so I may as well do it. And my goal for tomorrow is to have kind of an easy day because he doesn't get much time off, and then we're going to be with family, and that takes energy. And so I really want to have all of this kind of stuff done so that there's no stress tomorrow. And we can just chill in the morning, and then he can enjoy his day with his family that he hasn't got to see much. And I didn't get imitation vanilla. This is pure vanilla extract. Now, I got the store brand because I am all about saving a buck, but artificial vanilla is not the same. This is for family. It's a small group of people. It's for a holiday. I wanted that quality to be good. I know I'm going to be using it in multiple recipes. So they get the real stuff. I should have waited till tonight to do the cheese ball so my husband could help form it into a ball. I get very, very warm hands, so it's hard for me to handle chocolate or any of these softer kinds of things when it comes to forming them. But his hands are really, really cold naturally, so he can handle this stuff a bit easier than I can. Okay, so I've got everything mixed in the cheese ball, and I know that this is still probably too warm, but I'm just going to do it and get it out the way, because we've got other things to do today. I'm laying out some plastic wrap, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to dump the cheese ball onto the plastic wrap and use that wrap to kind of help me form it into a ball. And then I can plop it into the nuts, roll it around, coat it, and then it needs to go onto a fresh sheet of plastic wrap to really hold that nice and tight and move into the fridge so it can firm up for a while. So, thank you for coming along with me today on this adventure. And I don't think I'm going to do a lot of editing. I think I'm just going to be like, real time, this is what it's like. Oh no, we left half behind. That's not good. Might have to be a sample. No, I'm just joking. And this is why we wash our hands, because inevitably you're going to have to use your fingers to do something. I mean, this is family, so it's like, I mean, I'm not going to say I'm going to lick my fingers and keep on going, but, you know, it's made with love. But I am going to have to wash this off my hands so that I can do this. What's that? It's a Southern thing. Who talked about the moms preparing, and she's like, oh no, not to the relatives. Oh no, not to the relatives. Oh no, not to the relatives. And then she's like eating everything the whole way. There is a little bit left in the bowl, so what I'll do is later on, I'll get a wheat thin and sample it and see how it is. You know, it's a ball, but at the same time, you don't want it to be, I don't want it to get, I want it pliable, but I don't want it to, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want it to start to actually melt and get sticky. You want it soft and workable, but not sticky. All right, I'm going to set this in the fridge for a minute. That way it can firm up a bit before I roll it. No, this is not a perfect ball. You gotta make it, I guess we just kind of use a hamburger patty technique. But I'm gonna let this sit. And then we'll roll it in the nuts in a minute after that cools and my hands cool. And I lay out more plastic wrap. I'm going to kind of try and see if I can do this assembly line style. The reason I'm using my stove is I have tiled countertops, which are beautiful and I love. But sometimes you need a smooth surface to work on, and since I have a glass top stove, that's my best, most convenient smooth surface. I could use the kitchen table, but that's farther away from everything, and it has a big groove down the middle for where there's an insertable leaf to the table. So oh yeah. I need to find a better angle for this camera so that you guys can see what I'm doing as I'm doing it. And I learned just how hot my hands were. One time my mom and I made homemade truffles when I was a teenager for like girls' night. And it was great, but I couldn't handle the chocolate. It kept melting. All right. We have our cheese ball, we have our plate of nuts, and plastic wrap is ready to go. I just ran my hands under cold water. You know what? I should have oiled this. I don't know. Like I said, I should have watched some YouTube videos about how this is actually done ahead of time, and I did not. I just kind of went for it. Well, that's probably not the best way to do that, but all right. I know it says to roll it, but I'm more or less going to scoop the nuts and press them into the thing. And no, I'm not doing this with the skill of someone who's done it for 1,000 times, because I am not someone who's done it for 1,000 times, but I'm also trying to feel like, you know what, I don't need to rush. I would rather it turn out better than me rush and it turn out badly because I rushed. So, take the panic out of Thanksgiving with me today. And I'm also grateful, too, because I've got things that I can do ahead of time instead of things that have to be done the day of, like some of the side dishes that would have to be done the day of and things like that. But the good thing about this and doing it this way is I've got almost the entire thing covered already. And when I get it into the plastic wrap, I can really kind of like press them into it. I'm really nervous about that part, the transfer. But everything else can be covered up, and now that there's some nuts on it, I can a little bit better. Let me see if there's any gaps. This is the one part where it gets dangerous with my hands because they're so warm. Oh yeah. More nuts than we need. I guess that's a good problem to have. I don't know. I might take it out when I get to my in-laws and they all fall everywhere. That would be scary. Okay. There you have it, guys. We have got a cheese ball. Later I might go ahead and set it on the plate it's going to be on, but there it is. It's not fancy, but it's going to be delicious. And if a few nuts fall off, I would rather it be that there's too many nuts and some falling off than there be blank spots with no nuts. So, you know what? It's okay. And if one falls off, we'll just eat it real quick. It's fine. I think we're good. We've done the cookies, we've done the cheese ball. I need to set out the eggs for the cake, clean up this, and then take care of the trash. When I get back, we will prep ingredients for the carrot cake and then take a break for lunch. And after lunch, we will do the baking. Oh, and I am going to eat breakfast now. So I will pick up with you guys after a brief transitional phase. We are taking a little bit of a chill out break. I don't know if you can hear it in the background, but I've got the first load of dishes washing from the first round of preparations this morning. I figured I'd go ahead and wash them. That way if there's anything I need to reuse, especially like measuring cups, spoons, and things, get that done. And I decided I was going to just wipe off the wire rack from where the cookies were on it, but it did have a little bit of like crumbs and stuff, so I decided to go ahead and wash it too. It's almost noon, or maybe a little afternoon by now, so in a little bit I am going to eat lunch. I went ahead and did most of the prep work for the carrot cake. I didn't film it because like y'all didn't want to watch me grating these baby carrots for 10 minutes. It wasn't actually that bad grating the baby carrots. It was just a little bit more tedious. And I just made sure that when I was grating them, I stopped about that much before the end of the carrot each time, just to make sure I didn't hit my fingers on the grater. And all the little nubs, I'm just going to eat on my salad at lunch. So clearing things out, waste not, and still trying not to, get any bits of me in the carrots for the carrot cake, because that would not be good. But we're just going to chill for a little while because I'm waiting on the dishes, and then it'll be time to start lunch and then carrot cake.
Thank you so much for watching my video. Let me know what you want to see next, and remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, ring the bell, do all the things, and so long from the Little Greenhouse.